11 News starts with breaking news.
Good afternoon. Exclusive new video just in on your screen right now showing that brawl in Pittsburgh involving former Pitt football player and current NFL star Aaron Donald. His attorney says it is key to proving his client is innocent. Good afternoon. I'm Catherine Amenta, and let's get right out to Channel 11's Kara Sapida, who got that video. Kara, Donald's attorney says that his client was actually trying to break up this fight.
Catherine, I got my hands on this video this morning and took it to Donald's lawyer. He said they have a copy of this and Pittsburgh police do as well. He says that this video shows his client did not assault anybody, but instead ran in and tried to save the man. Now, Casey White is representing the former Pitt player and current NFL star athlete. He confirmed this video obtained by Channel 11 does show Donald trying to pull people off of the victim. That man, DeVincent Spriggs, claimed Donald assaulted him at an after-hours club in the South Side early Sunday morning. White said the incident began earlier in the evening when Spriggs was reportedly jabbing Donald with his elbow. He says Spriggs later swung a bottle of liquor at Donald's face, grazing him in the head, and still the NFL player did not fight back, but that's when the fight broke out. Surveillance video shows a man body slam Spriggs. Other men jump in on the fight, and then you can see Donald running into the picture and begin pulling people off of the victim.
Aaron's like, I don't have anything to hide. Let's go to the police. Let's do what we got to do, because all I want to do is go to the weight room, work out, and not be bothered with this.
I did reach out to the alleged victim's attorney this morning. He just wrote back to me that they have no comment. Reporting live this noon, I'm Kara Sapida, Channel 11 News.
Very interesting video, Kara. Thank you. Moving on to the weather now. Jessica, it's been such a dreary morning.
Looking very wet still, and really not too much change than what we saw this morning. A very soggy scenario on the radar. And here's the thing, we have some light rain and kind of looking misty with a few sprinkles and some light rain. So it's not like it's just pouring down, just kind of a nuisance as you head out and about. Let's get a still image here, kind of a close up at what we're dealing with. Notice how scattered the rain is, scattered about the region and really the midsection of western PA. We have it around Pittsburgh, Butler, Newcastle, even kind of sandwiched in between there in Beaver, the city of Beaver, and also around Greensburg, south of Indiana right now. I'm going to time out the rain chances for the rest of the day and let you know when you could ditch the umbrella.
Sounds good, Jessica. As of today, more than 4 million Pennsylvanians are partially vaccinated against COVID, and more than 2 million are fully vaccinated. But state and health officials say now is not the time to let up. This morning, Governor Tom Wolf spoke at a clinic in Hershey, telling people that vaccines are the key to getting back to normal.
With every dose of vaccine we put into arms, the entire Commonwealth gets a little bit closer to that new normal, and that's really important.
The governor also talked about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, of course. He said the pause should give people confidence that health officials are taking a very close look at these concerns about blood clots. More money is on the way to help states fight against new variants of COVID. Pennsylvania alone is getting more than $8.8 million next month, and it would help local scientists track and monitor emerging threats. Channel 11's Jacqueline Fell explains how the Biden administration says this new funding will help keep us safe.
More Americans are being vaccinated every day, but cases across the country are still rising. 22 states are seeing an uptick in cases. Scientists here in Washington say part of it is because of these new, more contagious variants of COVID-19 that are spreading rapidly. This money will help local labs identify and track the exact strain or strains spreading throughout the community. The funding, $1.7 billion total, is coming from the COVID relief package passed last month. White House health advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci says scientists are working on developing a universal coronavirus vaccine that can cover all possible variants. But until that's developed, he and other experts are pleading for you to keep wearing a mask, social distancing, and to get vaccinated.
We're going to see many waves in many places, and we need to get those vaccines in arms.
Health officials say a highly contagious variant first detected in the UK is now the most dominant strain in the U.S. The good news, the approved vaccines here in the U.S. offer good protection against this variant, especially against severe disease. In Washington, Jacqueline Fell, Channel 11 News.
New at noon, the Allegheny County Health Department releasing the latest COVID numbers today. In the last 24 hours, we have seen 491 new cases. Cases ranging from 1 to 94 years old, with the median age 32. Pine-Richland students say they want answers after their football team's entire staff was fired. Students rallied this morning to make their voices heard. Channel 11's Mike Holden spoke with them about their biggest concerns.
These Pine-Richland students are fired up. They want answers and action from the district after the entire football staff was terminated, and they say they're going to continue to fight. Dozens upon dozens of Pine-Richland students stood in solidarity. They chanted and cheered during a makeshift rally in front of the high school. They demanded the district explain why the entire football staff was let go. The rally comes ahead of a special school board meeting this afternoon. Earlier this week, head football coach Eric Kasparovich and his entire staff learned their contracts would not be renewed. The decision was reportedly made over alleged hazing and bullying incidents. It's something coaching staff and players have heavily disputed.
No, I never saw any of this, and also, like, as Coach Yoakum, I don't know if you saw his statement, they've been kind of just looking for anything as an out. So this came to their table, and I've never seen any bullying, harassment, any type of that stuff.
It's always been a toxic-free environment where it's just a great place to go, and when I'm in there, all the kids are just getting along, having fun, getting ready to play their football game.
And we have reached out to the district for additional answers in a further response. They do have a school board meeting set for 1 o'clock this afternoon. We're going to keep a close eye on that, plus more reaction from students and parents for Channel 11 News starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting from the Pine-Richland School District, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
Mike, thank you. Also this afternoon, we are working to learn more about a crash that killed a man and sent a child to the hospital. Happened around 3:30 this morning. If you were watching Channel 11 Morning News, this was on Route 837 near North 2nd Street in Duquesne, and it shut down the road for hours. Police say this SUV rolled over and that man was thrown out. Anyone with information is asked to call Allegheny County Police. The investigation just getting started this afternoon after 8 people were killed late last night at a FedEx facility in Indianapolis. Several people then were also taken to the hospital, and families this afternoon are still trying to find out if their loved ones are okay. NBC's Stephanie Gosk has the latest.
We received a call reference shots fired to that location.
Overnight terror and chaos after a shooter opened fire at a FedEx facility in Indianapolis, killing 8 people late Thursday. Police say the suspected shooter later died by a self-inflicted wound. An eyewitness, FedEx employee Levi Miller, described the scene this morning on Today.
Walk us through what you saw, what you witnessed last night.
I hear 3 shots after that, and I assume someone has an engine problem. This is when I hear 6 shots fired rapidly, and then I hear 10 shots. This is when I stand up, and I'm sitting on a bench. And so when I stand up, I see a man, a hooded figure. I was unable to see his face in detail. However, the man did have an AR in his hand, and he started shouting, and then he started firing at random directions. I thought he saw me, and so I immediately ducked for cover. But what I do know is that it was someone who definitely worked at this building before.
Deputy Police Chief Craig McCart also spoke with Today.
And Chief, well, the way we understand it is the shooting started out in the parking lot and then he went inside. How far into the facility did he get?
It's my understanding that the security measures that they had in place inside, the physical security measures that they had in place, did what they were supposed to do, and he did not get very far inside of that facility.
Authorities say multiple other people with injuries were transported to local hospitals. The facility is the company's 2nd largest hub in the world, employing more than 4,500 people. FedEx releasing a statement overnight reading in part, "We are aware of the tragic shooting at our FedEx ground facility near the Indianapolis airport. Safety is our top priority, and our thoughts are with all those who are affected." This morning, another American workplace shattered by gun violence as police search for answers.
This is a tragedy, but yet through it all, we will come through it.
That was Stephanie Gosk reporting. In other news this afternoon, one person is dead and another in the hospital after a shooting in Pittsburgh's Marshall-Shadeland neighborhood. Happened on Marshall Avenue. One victim died at the scene. The other is in stable condition. Police say both victims are juveniles and their names have not been released. Take a look at your screen. That is a BB gun, but it looks like it certainly could be the real thing. And that's what police in Washington County thought when they saw it during a traffic stop. Channel 11's Alyssa Raymond learned this is all part of a new and very dangerous game that the kids are playing.
This assassin game is nothing new. Kids have been playing it for years all across the country. But the City of Washington Police Department recently posted about it on their Facebook page because they got a call about a group of young men driving around, hanging out of the car windows, waving around a gun. Here's a look at the gun. Turns out it was a BB gun. Police spotted the car driving in this neighborhood around Hall Avenue. According to the police report, the officer pulled the car over and with his gun drawn, ordered the 4 people in the car to get out. The officer says he put them in handcuffs for his safety. Then he searched the car and found this BB gun under a seat. This all happened not too far from the high school. In a statement, the Washington School District said the situation involving the game Assassin is currently under investigation. Our district administration is working with city and school police to keep our students and communities safe. This mother says her 13-year-old son recently got hit in the leg with BBs while he was walking to a friend's house.
You know what I mean? I'm upset about it because they could have hurt my son, you know what I mean? And it's just with everything going on, you know, in the world today, with everything, it's just, why would you be so dumb?
The police department wants parents to talk to their kids about this game. And they say if you're thinking your kid would never do this, to still talk to them and just let them know to not play this game because it could turn into a very dangerous situation. Reporting in the city of Washington, Alyssa Raymond, Channel 11 News.
Alyssa, thank you. Still to come this afternoon, keeping Pennsylvania green, the push to bring back jobs and help the environment. And 2 people charged with running a local fire department. Now they're accused of stealing from it. Why officials say it was a family affair. A Pittsburgh man charged with killing his friend is now asking to leave Hawaii. Benjamin Fleming was released on a $250,000 bond, but was told not to leave the state. Fleming pled not guilty to killing Abhishek Gupta during a night of drinking. They were staying at an Airbnb last month. We're told the men have known each other since they were students at CMU. Two people in charge of this volunteer fire department are accused of stealing thousands of dollars from it. And Channel 11's Kara Sapita found out police say this crime was a family affair.
The former fire chief and treasurer here at the Cecil Township Volunteer Fire Department in Muse are off the job and facing felony theft charges. Tony and Alan Zombeck are accused of stealing nearly $50,000 from the fire company's account, purchases at stores, restaurants, gas stations, cashback withdrawals, and more. The investigation started last fall when the fire company's president noticed drywall tools charged to the fire company's account when the chief was renovating his home. Police say both Tony and Alan had access to the fire department's account here at Washington Financial Bank and shared a personal bank account as well. According to the criminal complaint, Tony Zombeck wrote more than $7,000 in checks payable to herself, $4,000 in cash back purchases, and paid approximately $15,000 of personal bills. Police say she paid gas, electric, car payments, and more for her local home with the fire department's account. No answer today at her home, but in this close-knit small community, people tell Channel 11 both of the Zombecks have done a lot of good, and they were shocked to hear of the charges. A further investigation revealed both mother and son had more unauthorized transactions, more than $11,000 worth of fuel, plus thousands spent at local businesses. The fire company board suspended them both and then fired them. The current fire chief told us police are still investigating, and the department has no comment. Kara Sapita, Channel 11 News.
Investigators say they tried to get financial records, but said the treasurer didn't keep any for 7 years. And at this point, nothing has been repaid. Take a look at your screen. Pittsburgh police are asking for your help identifying this man. They say he stole from an ATM on Brownsville Road back on March 31st. If you have any information, you're asked to call police. An appeal to save St. Philip Catholic School in Crafton is now in the hands of the Vatican. The Committee to Save St. Philip School says the Vatican received the appeal this week, and the Diocese of Pittsburgh plans to merge the school with St. Margaret of Scotland School in Greentree. The group is also asking for the merger to be put on hold while the Vatican reviews the decision. Tuition at Pennsylvania's 14 state universities has been frozen for a third year in a row. The Board of Governors said they voted for the freeze to keep education affordable. Basic in-state tuition for undergrads will be just under $8,000 a year. The announcement comes as officials work to find a way to help these schools in the long term. Overall enrollment has declined nearly 20% in the last decade. Schools across Pennsylvania are getting ready for standardized testing season. It comes despite concerns from some teachers. State lawmakers unsuccessfully petitioned the federal government to waive the tests for this school year. They said it's just an unnecessary burden for students right now. But the feds say that they need the test to gauge how well students are handling online learning. Now, many school districts move the exams to May, and they also have the option of putting them off until the fall. Students are also allowed to take the test remotely. Pennsylvania losing a quarter of its clean energy jobs in 2020, but some lawmakers say they have a plan to bring them back. Two new bills are designed to support solar jobs and renewable energy. If passed, it would increase the state's renewable energy to 18% by the year 2026. Right now, it's at 8%. And the focus, they say, is on solar jobs. More than 90% of renewable energy projects are solar right now.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
This midday, we're still holding on to wet weather. Now, we're not looking at a lot of it. We're not even looking at heavy rain. This is really just some pesky light showers, even some misty conditions, kind of sprinkles out there. I was out there earlier, and that's pretty much what it is. It's cold, cloudy, windy, and damp as we wrap up your work week this Friday. Not the most pleasant conditions right now. We do improve as we dry things out as we go through throughout the day and we improve our temperatures this weekend. More on that in just a moment, but let's look at what we're dealing with right now. You see it for yourself, the light rain kind of scattered about the radar this midday. Not only that, but we have reduced visibility, and that's really not too bad. Right now we have a 5-mile visibility in Greensburg. At full visibility is where you see the 10s here, and 8-mile visibility in Pittsburgh. You see what that looks like outside right now as we look outside, viewing from the tower cam. 42 degrees. It's quite cool, especially again with the misty and wet and soggy conditions outside. Winds out of the west at 10 miles per hour, and the winds have been strong, and they will continue to be strong as we go throughout the day. So right now, 12-mile-per-hour wind in Greensburg. That's 16-mile-per-hour wind. That's in Washington, very strong there. And even look at Somerset off to our east, 17-mile-per-hour wind, 12 in Butler. Now let's look at the rain chance for the rest of the day. I've been looking at the models, and what I have consistently seen with the forecast models is that they all trend dry by the evening commute. Here's 5 p.m. Still holding on to a lot of cloud cover, but as far as any falling precipitation, pretty much starting to wrap up around this time, especially as we head toward the evening hours. If you plan to maybe grab some dinner around 7:30 and enjoy your Friday night out in the town, you're looking to be good to go. We look to be on the dry side, maybe an isolated shower. That's what we'll hold on to as we go throughout the nighttime hours, but really looking dry again. Around the 5 p.m. for the rest of the day, even as we go into tomorrow morning. Just a really cloudy start to the day. Not a pretty start. Also is going to be quite cool as well. We're cool right now. We're going to be cool later today. Highs well below average. I mean, only getting into the upper 40s. 49 for the high today, 50 in Morgantown. We will continue to increase our temperature, so by next week, we're in the 60s. I'm going to talk more about the wind chill today because I've been talking about how cool it is and how windy it is. It's going to feel colder than that this afternoon. And I'm going to break down the weekend forecast. That's all coming up in the next half hour.
Watching, Jessica, thank you. The Olympic Committee says they are not considering canceling the Summer Games. Comes after 2 members of Japan's ruling party said yesterday the Olympics could still be canceled or happen without any fans. Right now, no fans from outside Japan will be allowed to go. The games are still scheduled for late July. The NFL reaching deals with 3 gambling companies to become official sports betting partners. The league is partnering with Caesars Entertainment, DraftKings, and FanDuel. The gambling sites will get to use NFL trademarks and official league data. This is a big shift. The NFL used to be a big critic of sports betting. They fought to overturn it in New Jersey, but lost. Well, new cancer research right here in Pittsburgh, how it could help older patients.
Children play around here, for one thing. I mean, how about if they took it home, right?
Yeah, scary find along a popular walking and biking trail. That's after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. A scary find in a park in Ohio. A woman was out taking a walk and she found a bag with 2 explosive devices. Happened this week in Akron. Police say she was walking near railroad tracks when she found this bag and she thought it was some trash, so she picked it up to throw it away, but then she saw the explosives. Neighbors say a lot of kids play in this area.
It's crazy. This world's nuts. Everything's going on, you know. I mean, I don't know why anybody, especially around here, would make something like that.
Well, the devices were detonated safely and everybody is okay. The FBI and ATF have been notified. A local state rep is looking to punish people who call 911 based on a person's skin color. State Rep Ed Gainey of Allegheny County plans to introduce 2 bills. One would increase penalties for people who file a police report with, quote, malicious intent towards a person's race, color, national origin, or religion. The second would hold businesses accountable for the actions their employees take in this matter. O'Hara Township this afternoon looking to ban smoking in all of their parks. And this would expand the current policy adopted in 2013 that stopped the use of tobacco products near playgrounds. Council is expected to vote on it next month. A rise in racist attacks online, the long-term effects they can have on the victims. And new vaccine scams popping up almost every day at this point. One way police and health officials say we can fight the fraud. Welcome back to Channel 11 News at noon on this Friday afternoon. Severe Weather Team 11 meteorologist Jessica Faith rejoins us. And Jessica, it's going to be cool today, but then the weekend's looking better.
It is looking better, and even the start of next week, even better. So we're trending in the right direction. We just have to get through today. I mean, we're in the 40s this midday. It is definitely cool, and it just feels yucky outside with the rain, the soggy conditions, the wind, and we have the cool air. Speaking of the wind, when you have the actual air temperature in the 40s, factor in the wind, this is the wind chill. This is how cool it feels, and man, you wouldn't imagine we would feel like we're in the 30s well into spring, but this is what we have right now. Washington feels like 35, wind chill of 36 in Pittsburgh. So how warm are we going to get today, or how warm are we going to get this weekend? I have your weekend forecast coming up in just a few minutes, so stick around.
I will definitely be listening to that, Jessica. Thank you. The race to vaccinate could be a marathon, not a sprint. Pfizer CEO says it's likely people will need a booster shot within a year of their first dose. Pfizer's vaccine is 91% effective against COVID for at least 6 months, but how often you could need the booster is still unclear.
The efficacy over time against the sort of standard strains of COVID-19, and then also what's going to happen with all these variants that have been circulating globally.
Earlier this week, Moderna announced that they would have a booster shot that's expected to be available sometime this fall. Meanwhile, vaccine trials continue for children. A children's hospital in Kansas City is giving kids a small dose of the Pfizer vaccine, and then doctors will see how they do with it. And if everything's okay, they'll increase the dosage.
It does require a special type of parent to sign up the children to do this, because if you, as a parent, are afraid the moment you see the needle and your child starts to cry and you want to back away, this is probably not the right study for you.
That makes sense. The study is expected to last around 2 years. A new poll finds almost a third of Pennsylvanians are hesitant to get a COVID vaccine. 46% of people in the Muhlenberg College survey said that they will get the vaccine as soon as they can. 5% said they'll get it in a few weeks, and 13% in a few months. And then 31% said they do not plan to get the vaccine at all. Answers varied based on demographics and education level. As of this afternoon, more than 2 million Pennsylvanians are fully vaccinated and 4 million are partially vaccinated. Better Business Bureau and FTC are warning us about yet another surge in vaccine scams. NBC's Liz McLaughlin walks us through these new concerns.
I just got my first shot today.
For many Americans,
did it hurt? Nope, not at all.
A COVID-19 vaccine is a ray of hope for the return of normalcy.
1, 2, 3, here we go.
But the urgency of seeking a shot can make consumers trigger happy on vaccine-related phishing traps sent by scammers, often through a text with a malicious link.
The general goal of these scams is people want to get your personal information or they want to get money from you.
Officials stress that you should never have to pay for a shot or a place in line.
We want to remind everyone that this is a safe, free vaccine.
But some Americans are hesitant.
I don't want to be nobody's guinea pig.
As discussions begin around requiring proof of a vaccine for access to concerts, conferences, and even some countries, fake vaccine cards and passports are starting to pop up for sale online.
Vaccine passports seem to go for a couple of $100s. And when you're, again, talking about what is a paper artifact, it actually is fairly easy to fake those things.
With no federal system to authenticate the CDC's vaccination cards, the fakes are hard to spot. Now, the Department of Health and Human Services and the FBI are investigating the growing trend.
What you're doing is you're exposing other people, and you should care about other people, not just yourself and your needs.
But officials hope the accelerating pace of vaccinations will slow the pace of related scams. Liz McLaughlin, NBC News.
The Anti-Defamation League is warning this afternoon about a rise in racist Zoom bombings at colleges. They say the number continues to grow after a record-setting year in 2020. They also say the students who witnessed the hate speech have long-term effects, including anxiety. Last month, CMU started an investigation after a virtual student debate was crashed. Officials say it lasted for 15 minutes and included racist and homophobic language. New research from UPMC this afternoon is providing new treatment information for breast cancer patients older than 70. A study at the Hillman Cancer Center and Pitt School of Medicine show that after a lumpectomy, 2 common procedures, a lymph node biopsy and radiation therapy, have very little benefit.
The early ideas were, if the more we cut away, the more we do, the better the outcome. Well, that
wasn't the case, yeah? And so what we've learned is sometimes doing less is better.
Dr. Adrian Lee recommends doctors and patients discuss the best treatment options, and this research examined elderly patients diagnosed in the early stages of breast cancer. Prince Philip's funeral is tomorrow at Windsor Castle. Attendance will be limited to 30 people because of the pandemic. And in honor of the prince's military career, hundreds of servicemen and women will take part in a procession. Crowds gathered yesterday to watch these rehearsals and leave flowers and cards. Prince Philip passed away earlier this month. He was 99 years old. Savannah Guthrie and Hoda will be anchoring an NBC News special report tomorrow morning. You can watch the funeral live right here on Channel 11, and that gets underway at 9:30. Still to come this afternoon, an encore performance, how a closed local theater will live on.
We've just been fighting the fight, and we're just going to keep doing that.
And in a fight for their lives, how the community is rallying around this local couple. Please stay with us.
It's basically spread to the point that they can't cure it.
Really tough story here this afternoon. A local police sergeant is battling terminal cancer at just 49 years old. And the news comes as his wife is also battling leukemia. Such a difficult time for their family, but the community is rallying around them. Channel 11's Amy Hudak has their story.
We've known each other since elementary school, since third grade. I was the first guy that she kissed in third grade.
It's a love story decades in the making.
And I had a crush on him all through school, and he never knew. Like I mean, I would write Jennifer Hayes on things when I was younger.
After their first date, Jennifer went home and told her mom she was going to marry Mike Hayes. And she did. 25 years and 2 kids later, the Hayes are now facing their toughest battle.
It was late September. I was having a lot of stomach pain. Basically, through a bunch of tests, they found out I had stage 4 colon cancer that had spread to my liver.
The cancer, not curable, only treatable. And for Jennifer, who's living with leukemia, it's a gut punch.
To see him go through all of this now is what's heartbreaking, because he's always been the tough one and the one that when I got sick, that he was always there and he's always going to be here to take care of us.
Mike dedicated his life to service for others. He's an officer for North Fayette Township and spent 6 years as a school resource officer for West Allegheny High School. At 49, Hayes was just shy of retirement and his pension. His officers stepped up and gave him their time off so he can focus on his family and treatments.
It means everything that they give me this time to be able to do that. It takes away that whole worry of how am I going to do this?
The school district even made I Like Mike t-shirts as part of a fundraiser for the family. All of the students and staff in the district will wear them next Thursday. The Hayes say it's the community and total strangers who have helped them find hope in heartbreak.
We get cards in the mail from people that we don't even know who they're from.
No return address, no anything, and
yeah,
to my heroes, and just, you know, and like they don't say anything else, just, you know,
yeah.
What a wonderful thing. You know?
Mike and Jennifer say their focus is their family.
The hardest things, you know, you just, will I get to see my son graduate? Will I get to walk my daughter down the aisle? Will I get to, you know, it's those little things.
Celebrating even the simplest moments and finding strength to get through the toughest of nights.
Tomorrow's another day, and we, you just take each day and keep going, you know? And that's what we've been doing, day at a time, and we've just been fighting the fight, and we're just gonna keep doing that, and that's what we're gonna do.
In North Fayette Township, Amy Hudak, Channel 11 News.
Temperatures are pretty cool right now. With the wind, it feels even cooler. I have your wind chill forecast, and we'll let you know about a warm-up this weekend.
You have to be there, like, mentally.
I wasn't prepared for that video. The mental and physical challenge this man is trying to conquer one step at a time. Welcome back on this Friday afternoon. Hope it's a good one so far. Good news, if you use the Mon Incline, it's running again. Port Authority shut it down for routine maintenance earlier this week. They replaced the haul cable, which they do about every 3 years. Pittsburgh International Airport is adding another direct flight to Florida, this time from American Airlines. The flights from Pittsburgh to Orlando begin June 5th. The company did not say how long they will offer this flight. Last month, United and Southwest announced a combined total of 5 new flights from the Steel City to resort town destinations. Enjoy. Lyft just launched a program to let healthcare providers send patients a prepaid pass for trips to their doctor's appointment. It's called Lyft Pass for Healthcare. Healthcare transportation is a $3 billion industry. Uber launched a similar program in 2018. Regal Theaters opened for today for the first time in 6 months. They started a phased reopening earlier this month with 500 theaters. However, if you still like to stay at home, Warner Brothers has you covered on that. They're releasing all of their films this year on HBO Max. The former manager of the now closed Rex Theater is helping out a new arts organization. According to the Trib, Ben Penninger donated $80,000 worth of equipment to the Steel City Arts Foundation in Stanton Heights. It's in an old church and is being run by a comedian who recently moved here from LA.
Your severe winter Team 11 forecast.
We really haven't had much change in the radar since this morning, but as we go into the afternoon, we will switch it up a bit and start to get rid of some showers. And by 5 p.m., the radar should be looking much drier, but the cloud cover will remain. This is the white area that you see on the radar, but the green that you see, that's the light rain we have out there, really making for a soggy scenario. Also, very cold situation outside where we have temperatures in the 40s. Now, I say cold because we have a bit of a wind. When you factor in the wind, boy, it feels like we're in the 30s, which is not what we expect for April, is it? We expect to get warmer. We've had some pretty nice warm days like last week. This week, and especially today, this is what we're dealing with. 36 degrees in Pittsburgh, 37 Beaver, in Greensburg, Washington. You're at 35 degrees right now. And again, this is all due to the wind. We have been quite breezy all day throughout the first half of the day, keeping a pretty strong wind as we head later into the afternoon. Right now, 10-mile-per-hour wind in Pittsburgh. Pretty elevated for you all in Washington. 16-mile-per-hour wind in Washington, 12-mile-per-hour wind in Greensburg, Indiana. Farther toward the east, you are at a 15-mile-per-hour wind. Here's the wind chill as we go throughout the day. We can expect for the wind chill to be close to the air temperature, but no, at times like what we have right now, it will feel much cooler than the actual air temperature. Now, let's look at some good news. We will start to warm things up. Today's projected highs will be in the upper 40s. Going just into the next 2 days, we're increasing that by 10 degrees. So in the upper 50s for this weekend, 59 by Sunday, and then finally getting back to seasonal temperatures, kind of getting back to where we should be on Monday, 61. A closer look at the weekend, we could see a few isolated showers. For the most part, we're looking much drier this weekend, looking drier as we head into the beginning of the new work week as well. Temperatures warming up into the lower 60s, feeling much better on Monday and Tuesday. 61 Monday, 63 on Tuesday.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if you had 5 key people with you every moment of the day? You would never be alone. You would never worry. You would never be afraid. Well, that might not be possible, but I have the next best thing. This is a brand new concept called Invisaware. This is a beautiful necklace. You literally just push the button and it alerts 5 people that you're in trouble and where you are by a GPS location. So think about it. You're walking to your car in a parking lot. You're by yourself. Something's not right. You use your rideshare app, you're in the car, something's not right. You're going to, you're leaving somewhere, you're walking down the street, you're by yourself at night, something's not right. Maybe it's you, maybe it's your daughter, maybe it's your niece, maybe it's your mom, maybe it's your sister, maybe it's your best friend. Every woman has felt that. This is a brand new concept that I know you're gonna love. Please meet the young lady who actually developed it. This is Raja.
It looks like a beautiful piece of jewelry, and people never believe this, but it's actually got a safety device hidden on the inside. There's a button. If you press it 2 times, it immediately sends a text message to 5 people that you pre-select in the free app. And there's a feature to allow it to optionally contact 911 as well. When you double press it during an emergency, it sends your loved ones a link to your live location so that they can send help. Thank you so much to Local Steals and Deals for having me, and for the audience listening. I'm so thrilled to be able to help keep you safe and to keep your loved ones safe.
Thank you so much, Raja. I think this is one of the most amazing designs. By the way, this keeps you safe with no monthly monitoring fee, which I think is very important. It comes in the gold tone or silver tone, beautifully gift boxed and ready to go. And right now on localsteals.com, it is 28% off. So start making a list of everyone you love and you want to get one for.
Welcome back on this Friday afternoon. April is Donate Life Month, and Mayor Bill Peduto made the proclamation at the ceremony. Yesterday's event also honored former Pittsburgh Firefighters Union President Joe King. Joe King died in February and was a tissue donor. His brother Danny was also a firefighter and an organ donor when he died in 2014.
Both Danny and Joe were able to continue their life of service by once again giving of themselves so others could live. As was mentioned, Danny saved 4 lives with his organ donations.
Across the country, close to 110,000 people are waiting for transplants, including 2,000 in Western PA. And finally this afternoon, let's end on a funny note. That is a man in a teddy bear suit being questioned by a sheriff's deputy. This video was taken yesterday in California, where the deputy met the person inside the suit and learned that he has a very important goal: to walk 380 miles from Los Angeles to San Francisco, because why not? According to local media, he goes by the name Bear Son and is documenting his walk on Instagram.
Literally, like, I look at my map and I'm just walking. I try not to look at the numbers because you have to be there, like, mentally.
Bear Son said he started his trip on Monday and hopes to get to San Francisco by tomorrow. We need more of Bear Son in our lives. That's all for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is tonight at 5. Have a fantastic weekend.